Hey, you've reached Nate Carver, your favorite mortgage guy, and today we are talking to Anita Ice out of Aledo, Texas, the Parker County area. She's a fantastic real estate agent. Has been in the business for 12 plus years. Hey, I'm Nate Carver, and welcome to Between Two Doors. And Anita, it's great to meet you. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing good. So let's learn a little bit about you. So about 12 years ago, you picked up your real estate agent license. Can you tell me what why you did that and what was driving you initially whenever you decided to become a real estate agent?
Well, I've wanted to be a real estate agent for 20 plus years, but you listen to all the negative feedback about how it's too expensive. The fees are this, the education's that. You need a traditional job. It's inconsistent income. So I'll let my um, mainstay focus go back to this is what I've always wanted to do. I'm passionate about working with people. I think it's absolutely thrilling to tell someone that they've been approved for their home or give them their keys, to work with them and know that this is either going to be their forever home or a stepping stone while their family grows, or they're having to downsize at the end of raising their kids and everybody's gone to college and they're getting to do something fun. So
Right.
I like the customer service aspect of talking to people and understanding their needs and trying to meet that.
So over that time span, you've helped people buy their first home or their second home, maybe their forever home, and then you've also you've seen their lives transition and you've helped them either downsize or buy investment properties.
Yes, downsizing investment properties, unfortunately, trust properties, probate properties, divorce situations.
Hmm.
There's, I've worked with all aspects of everybody.
Right. I always say get a great real estate agent to be in your on your team as a homeowner because they know the market, they know your area. Tell me about the Aledo area. What are some things you love about it that you see trending or drawing new homeowners into your area?
It's outside the city limits. It's more of a country feel. You still have open ranches and horses and cattle all around. It's the small town feeling. It's the Parker County Peach Festival every July. It's the
Mm,
Christmas on the Square. It's the Sheriff Posse grounds and the rodeos that go on, anywhere from high school to professional rodeos, a lot of colleges. It's it's just that small town feel. I've been here since 1980.
nice. I've been to that peach festival. You can walk away from there. You can drop some money. You can walk away from there with crates and crates of peaches and all kinds, all kinds. You might be lucky to see two types in a grocery store, but there's just hundreds. It seems like there's hundreds of different types of peaches, and every one of them's got a different flavor. Anyway, I love that
And don't
place. That's
forget about
good.
the peach ice cream and the peach pies and the peach pop and everything else
Yeah,
that,
it's
yeah,
peachy. That's
it's
awful.
peachy. Or the Parker County peaches.
That's right. Oh, wow. Oh, if I lived there. So yeah, so if you moved there, you you better love peaches. Tell me, so you're working on a project now. Some of your listings, it's well, I think I understand this right. It's you you're the listing agent for a large tract of raw land that's been subdivided and they're doing new builds on that as well.
Yes, sir. Yep.
Okay, so tell me,
I have one in Tolar and one in Weatherford.
okay, oh wow, so there's two different locations. What's unique about those as a real estate agent? What are you seeing that you would find helpful for a home buyer? Well, in this case, they're building that you would find that would be helpful for them.
The first time home buyers, I think if you want to be in Tolar, which is just about 10 miles west of Granbury before you get to Stephenville,
Hmm.
Bluffdale, all of that area. It's a very small town. It's still one high school, one middle school, one elementary school. You know, it's a subdivision of 98 lots. I think I have 45 left, and
Hmm.
only 10 of them aren't under contract. So those price points on those houses are starting in the low 200s. And you can
Oh,
get
wow.
a 4,000 square foot, 5 and 6 bedroom house for a little over 300,000. Brand new build, you know, great location, curbs, underground utilities, the beautiful white concrete streets. There's nothing that looks bad about that neighborhood. That's got the natural trees. It's surrounded by farmland. It's very pretty.
How long of a timeline are you telling homeowners to expect from whenever they go under contract to on a new build? We're talking new construction to that home being completed for them to move in. How long are you seeing that take?
6 months.
6 months. So plan on 6 months if you're looking at building. Wow, those price points are fantastic. Yeah, that's fantastic. I'm gonna see what I can do to help get that word out for you. Okay, 6 months, and then brand new communities in towns and that have like one of everything as far as schools and utilities.
And
Okay,
one red
good.
light.
What's that?
I said, and one red light.
And one red light. Well, perfect. Well, if you're tired of the commute and you're tired of dealing with multiple stop signs and lights, go to Tolar, go to Tolar, Texas. So in the years that you've been a real estate agent, what are some things, some advice that you would give someone that's looking to buy a home, whether they've been this may be their second or third purchase or their first? What are things that you see if they knew on the front end that would save them a lot of time and remove some of the chaos going towards closing and moving in?
I would tell them to be prepared. You know, there's life happenings. You know, it's almost like the beat you see of a heartbeat, you know, where you've got to climb that mountain. You're in a peak, you're in a valley, and then you're climbing up, and life changes has to happen. And people think, I want to buy a house, and I think I'm house ready today, only to find out that their credit report isn't where it's supposed to be, or their income is not where it's supposed to be, or they wrote too much stuff off on their taxes in the previous years, or they're self employed and they have to prove up 2 years of employment to get into a home, and they find all these things to be discouraging. They think that they're not qualified. They don't want to start the process until they're absolutely they have to move now, only to
Mm-hmm.
find out that it's going to take, you know, with you, you know, 3 or 4 months or 5 months or whatever it's going to take to get them house ready. That, you know, they've got
Yep.
to pay down their DTI. They've got to get things accomplished in their life to be able to move forward and get that bigger house or that first house. And I think that a lot of people that are in rental situations are getting caught up in the rental loop where they think that they want to purchase, but they overspend, you know, and you're looking at their credit report, you're looking at their checking account statements. They find all those things to be invasive, but they have to do the steps in the process to get where they're
Mm-hmm.
going. And I think the fear of the unknown is what stops a lot of people rather than staying in front of it. I think that people that are selling their homes and purchasing larger homes, I've been in instances where they didn't know that those three late pays over the last 5 years was going to affect them moving into their new home. So it's getting, getting them house ready again, and not discouraging them from the process, but not encouraging them that we need to go out and look tomorrow. Get your house listed today. Your house is going to sell like that. In this market, we've seen it be so hot that you have 50 offers in one day. And over the last, I would say, about 15 months, it's slowed down to where, their builders are offering incentives again. And with all the changes in the industry, and now it's like an Easter egg hunt to know what your commission's going to be when you're on the buyer side.
Hmm.
You're opening an Easter egg. Are you getting the good candy? Are you getting $100 bill? Or are you getting nothing? And that's discouraging a lot of new agents from wanting to work with builders. I don't think that it should be a discouragement. I think it's a great learning tool. It's a great way of negotiating. Taking the certified negotiations classes through Trek is something that I think that all new agents should do, so that they don't get offended so easily when they get an offer. They simply thank someone for that offer. Um, I think that people that are selling their house and downsizing, they go and look at a home and then they're like, well, all of my furniture's not going to fit in this house. Well, sugar, you're downsizing. So that was the whole point, is that it's time to have a big garage sale. But I
Hmm.
like helping my clients from getting in touch with you, going through the loan process. They ask me a loan question. I'm like, nope, not adding anything up for you. Not my job, staying in my lane. That you call Nate and get him to answer your questions. And
I
that
agree.
way we're on the same page. And, not everybody out there wants to put everything in the open. And so,
Right.
in the industry, you learn that, I hate to say, sometimes buyers are lying because they don't want to admit that they've got late pays or they're over their DTI, and they tell us as agents that they're ready to buy a house and they've been pre-qualified. Well, they went online to Rocket Mortgage and did a pre-qualification with no paperwork to prove up
Hmm.
the situation, and then we get them to someone like you that you're like, whoa, hold up and wait a minute. They're on cavers. There's something going on here. There's, they're not, they need to pay this down. They don't have the money to put their down payment down. They don't qualify because of their um, credit score to do to do conventional or do USDA, or so.
Right. Yeah. When I'm talking to clients, first time home buyers, anybody looking to get a needing a mortgage, um, in doing a consultation with them, I always talk about, any question they ask me is a good question. However, there's only two people that it needs to go to. Either it's the realtor, so it could be a great question for the realtor like yourself, or it's a great question for a lender. And I don't, they're not the experts, and they have a need. And I always tell them that you got a great real estate agent with Anita, you've got a great lender in myself. We're on your team. And sometimes they see me as, on the front end of the, when we first get to know them, they see me as an adversary, until they realize in our conversation, the light comes on and they realize that I'm an advocate, and I'm on their side just as you are. But we both bring two very critical skill sets to helping them get a home, saving money, lower down payments, closing costs, negotiating the deal with the sellers and the buyers. Those are very distinct skill sets that you and I separately have, and the two never cross. And so, although I do give you ammunition as far as negotiating pricing and what the seller could possibly do, that kind of thing, depending on the different type of loan. You mentioned something on certifications, and that I don't know that, a layperson either needing to buy a home or sell a home may not know. But as a real estate agent, you can specialize, and there are continuing education courses and certifications for specific niches in the market. Um, can you talk a little bit about that? Maybe identify some of the certifications or all of them that you have, and what those help a homeowner achieve.
I have my short sale and foreclosure certification to help people that have lost their job, or, especially like during COVID, people were unable to go to work, and a lot of people were furloughed or laid off, and it put their homes in forbearance, or they tried to keep up with their homes, or just realized that I'm working from home now and I can't afford what I could afford. And
Mm-hmm.
so understanding the short sale process, understanding everything that you can do leading up to that short sale to keep yourself from being in that foreclosure situation. The class is phenomenal. The information that's given during the class is information that's just, I wish that everybody would know that, you're one paycheck away from the poorhouse if you lose your job, if you're overextended. And, there's basic education to get through that whole process. But if you don't know it, again, you just keep ignoring those notices, which gives you the opportunity to put it on the market traditionally and try to get it sold. And before it goes to short sale, before you miss those first three payments. And then talking to the banks, having that open dialogue with the bank instead of ignoring things, staying ahead of it, staying in front of it. If they're scared to ask the questions, then they can sign an authorization to release information to me, and I can help them and explain that. It's not giving me the opportunity to make decisions for them. It's given me the opportunity to speak with the lender to get them informed answers to their
Mm-hmm.
questions instead of just blatantly ignoring it. And then the real estate negotiations, the certified real estate negotiations. I think that that's a class that any person in any workplace could have, because it gives you a better way of understanding, not being defensive, not looking at us like we're just out to make our money. We're just out to get that sale done and disappear. That's not me. I still send Christmas cards to everybody, and I talk to everybody that I've worked with for years. I've built
Good.
relationships that are bases of a lifelong friendship.
And I think that's what's made you so successful as a real estate agent too. That right there.
I don't
Everything.
sugarcoat anything, so people either like me or they don't, but
They love
they
your candor.
understand in the long run that I'm not going to do something that's going to jeopardize my license. I'm not going to do something that's going to jeopardize their future and the money that they make,
Right.
or the home that they're able to pay for, or, you know, they don't need a 5,000 square foot house for $3 million when they don't qualify for that. You give me your budget, you tell me the 10 things that you want, and tell me what you like about your current home and what you would change, and write those things down. And I'm going to stay under budget. I'm going to stay under their house payment. I'm not the agent that says it's just $10 more a month, or it's just
Mm-hmm.
$50 more a month, or, you want to be at 2,600 a month. I'm going to try to find that home that has all of those things plus one bonus thing that you weren't expecting: a third car garage, a pool in the backyard, on a cul-de-sac, in a golf course area, wherever it is, whatever that one special thing is that you're looking for. I will go out and preview properties, walk through them, do a video, and inform my client this is something you do need to see, or we can skip this one. I'm not,
Right.
I won't push somebody into a situation that they can't get themselves out of. And I
All
think that
right.
going through the real estate negotiations teaches you those things so that you
Yep.
can not only dealing with an offer from another agent or submitting an offer to an agent. A lot of mine are listings. So I feel that going through that class has helped me talk to other people. If they're not qualified for 600 and you're offering 500, why were you showing them a $600,000 house? It still fits back into the I'm not overextending somebody or going backwards into something for my own benefit.
Right. So I'm going to shift gears. Got two other things I want to ask you. So, number one, what do you love doing, or what's your currently where are you going in your real estate business, your goals there, and then what do you love doing outside of real estate? Your passions outside of real estate.
My real estate goals for the last 3 years, I've told myself that I was going to take the broker's courses, and I always get so busy that I just put it in the rearview mirror. And this year, I am going to become a broker in 2025. I've started my courses. I'm going to stay with the same company and be an associate broker with Michael. I've worked with Michael for 11 of the 12 years that I've been licensed. I've left a couple of times and realized that that's not the correct path, and I've always gone right back. But we have a great relationship. We work together. He's not a broker that you can't ask questions to or cut up and joke around with. And he's also one that will set you straight if you're, not doing something that is imperative to get done. And he listed me as a supervisor, I believe last year or year before last, and being able to work with the other agents and talk with them has given me like the compliance side of it,
Mm-hmm.
and it's helping with the process of becoming a broker. And
Right.
then part two, I have 4 boys and 1 grandson, so
All
everything
right.
I do is based around my family, around going to church, around God, you know taking care of others, being considerate. I love kayaking, camping. I'm going camping in March with my sister and her husband. We were supposed to be doing a 5K, and
Oh, okay.
they
I was gonna
lost
ask
the
tent or RV camping.
neither one. It's a screen shelter and a tent. So yes,
Okay.
we're tent camping, and we
I
kayak
gotcha.
and I hike. I like doing 5Ks. I like just being outdoors.
Oh, nice. Yeah, there's a place I know in the Smoky Mountains where you can go. Now you gotta hit your distance for the day because they have these rough campsites and basically it's lean-tos. If you make it, you have a place to sleep in shelter, right? Sort of. I mean, it's not air conditioned or anything like that. It's a lean-to. And if you don't make it, I guess you're sleeping under the stars.
Well, I've
Uh,
slept under the stars with it snowing, and I've slept under the stars at the 111 degrees still at 10 o'clock at night here in
oh
Texas.
wow.
And then there's those other times that you know, set your tent up and don't realize it's on a downhill slope until there's a bad rainstorm come in, and then your whole tent's flooded with water. So
Oh
it's been
no.
fun.
Yeah, I've done that. Scouting. In the
Yes.
Boy Scouts, we used to go camping every week. Or not every week. Every month we'd do one weekend camp out in rain or snow, heat, it did not matter. We were doing it and I've I've set the tent wrong too and it just fill up with water. So
Then it's going and finding a laundromat the next morning and trying to dry everything.
yeah, you wake up middle of the night, you see your ice chest float across your backpack. You're like, what's going on?
Or you wake up and there's raccoons that have fingers like with opposable thumbs and they can open your cooler. And I set
Yeah.
locks on the top of it thinking that they wouldn't be able to get into my cooler. And they ate
Yep.
the eggs, they ate the hot dogs, they ate the steaks. And I was like, well, I'm glad y'all had a great breakfast.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah. Have you ever been anywhere with bears?
Probably, but I didn't try to focus on those things. I was in North Carolina, Grandfather
Yeah,
Mountain in North Carolina, and I'm sure that there are some black bears up that way.
we
I've
did
gone
a.
hiking in.
Go ahead.
I can, oh, I was going to say I've been hiking in the Mount Rainier and the Olympics and the Cascades up in Washington State, and I'm sure there's bears up there too. My
Yeah,
biggest fear is the rattlesnakes here in Texas.
yeah, yeah. That's there's more of those. Yeah, we did a trip up in Canada, and every night we would take our food supplies, that all of our food supplies, put them in a backpack, take them way outside of the campsite, and then on a on a rope sling, we would put them way up in a tree, and that's where we kept all our food. So I never had any problem with bears, but that's probably why. I can imagine you sneak a candy bar or something into your tent for a late night snack, you might get another visitor besides a raccoon. So okay,
Yes.
so we got a special treat for everybody that you and I are gonna do. We're going to do from start to finish, loan application to contract to close and purchasing a home, and you and I are going to capture the entire process. Uh, and so weekly, we're going to come back and we'll do an update where we're at in the process. You as the real estate agent and the buyer, so you get to represent those two parts of the transaction. And then as your lender, we're gonna have a candid, open conversation about the whole purchasing process. So if you're a first-time home buyer or you want to take a look at how purchasing a home can play out, this is it. I don't know. I don't have any idea. We might do FHA. We might do conventional. I might do jumbo. We're at the very beginning of this that we're going to work with you, Anita, and this is going to be a lot of fun. This is going to be exciting. I have no idea where this is going to go, other than to say that at the end of the day, you're going to get a home. You're going to be closing on a new home, hopefully in 30 days. We'll see. Because you, as the buyer and the realtor, you've got to find the home. So we're going to do that. That's going to be some follow-on podcast, and we'll start that today. Um, so I'm looking forward to doing that, Anita. I've never been on the, I've never, this will be a first. So this will be exciting. We'll see where this goes. So having said that, if there's anyone looking to move to the Parker County, Aledo area, Tolar area, looking to move there or buy a home there or sell a home there, what is the best way that they can get a hold of you?
Call me. My phone number is 817-627-5378. You can text me. If you're a more comfortable person with texting, then I'm fine with that. I prefer a phone conversation so we can really dive into what it is that you're looking for. You're welcome to email me at anita.icerealtor@gmail.com, and we can get the process started. I have another subdivision that's north of Weatherford Lake, but they're 2 acre lots and they're all custom builds. So those
Wow.
are a bigger step process, but it's a gorgeous place as well.
I love it. All right. Well, thank you, Anita. This was a pleasure learning a little bit more about what you're doing, and I'm looking forward to working with you on our project.
Me too. See you soon.